All right, welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It is bright, it is sunny, it is not. In fact, it's cold, and I'm gonna spoil the surprise right off the bat. Bitcoin is stuck in a 4-hour range. You got volatility just kind of in the middle there. Stokes are about to cross down, and I will give some targets for Bitcoin, go over some altcoins. I'm also gonna go over some news, because what's going on right now, it looks like the Kobasi letter is saying, hey, look, very, very likely the Russians are going to attack. They're going to attack the oil and gas supplies of the Netherlands, something like that. And needless to say, that'll be inflationary. What else is kind of on the board is that the sorry, just getting into some of these reports from yesterday, because as we know, we had the FOMC meeting yesterday, and the majority of the Fed speakers said, hey, look, we are, we're giving the thumbs up. The majority of the members gave the thumbs up for a 25 basis point rate hike. So what does that mean? Well, that means two of the members were in favor. I think it was 2 or 3 members were in favor. One of them was Bullard for a 50% rate hike. And needless to say, what keeps happening is what keeps happening is that they are essentially revising the economic numbers every single day. It seems like they get something different. And what I was reading here, the chances of a 50 basis point rate hike in March are nearing 30%, a fresh high. Just 3 weeks ago, it was less than 2%. There's now a 5% chance the Fed raises rates 100 basis points by July of 2023. So the rate expectations are continuing to go higher and higher. And I was reading a really good article about just the cost of inflation. Just seconds ago, Q4 GDP reading shows that core PCE and the Fed's preferred measure of inflation is at 4.3%, above expectations of 3.9%. Overall, core inflation was revised higher from 4.7% to 4.8%. Inflation data continues to be reported higher than expected and then revised after that. And the November CPI inflation was revised higher. December was revised higher. January jobs are 200% above expectations. February CPI calculated inflation changed. Q4 released lower. So what is the economic data changing? Why is it changing almost every day? Well, we know the truth. They're lying out the side of their neck. They're absolutely lying to everybody. And what am I going to do here really quick? I'm going to see if I can throw up. No, I don't have time to do it, but I will get into some price expectations here shortly on Bitcoin's price action and see if I can't make this a little more easy to see. Unfortunately, yeah, it would have to be something like this. Actually, I'm just going to set this up over here and see if I can't give you guys the lowdown right here on my screen. Hopefully this works out. And if I drag this, nope, it's not going to. Sorry guys, you're gonna get the side view here. But here we go. Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. And I'm gonna try and yeah, that's the range. We did say this yesterday, this is looking like an ascending triangle, which has a 75% chance to break out to the upside. We broke it to the downside. So what does that mean? I actually want to take the hourly perspective, and maybe that's a little, no, I'll leave it right there. So the measure move, I like to measure from the 50 percentile on this guy. And it looks like we are pretty darn close to hitting that target of the breakout. Yeah, I mean, close enough is close enough. So I'd say target was hit there. On the 4 hour, what am I getting here? We will cross down here at 23,912. So the momentum will cross to the downside, call it below 23,900, not giving me much there. And momentum is to the downside on, and here is kind of a dead giveaway to me. And this was all but confirmed. But really, I mean, this is kind of the line in the sand, that 23,400 pivot. If we close below there, call it 23,400. I'm looking for a quick move down to 22,382. And I will call this out. The dollar is kind of hitting our targets, moving to the upside slowly but surely. We've been calling this one out. 105 has been the target to the top side of the range. We're at 104 and 71 cents. So if they revise the January inflation number up and we get that first increase, not going to look good for the bears. I'm sorry, not going to look good for the bulls in the short term, at least. And we did call this out just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, in fact, on this confirmation close, confirming the third drive of hidden bullish divergence. 1, 2, 3. Actually, it was how many drives? 4 drives. And that kind of gave us the bias that there's a good chance we could get a shot up to this green box here at 108, which is that 618, not 0.5 bull trap area. As long as we're below there, I'd say good. Above there, bad. And especially actually above 105, if we do close a daily back above 105.60, I would say definitely we're going to take a stab at that box. And then Bitcoin does kind of retrace and play some of those lower targets that we have been talking about. And I'll just bring that back up for us here, which I personally would like. I'd love to see Bitcoin just come down a little bit more and give everybody a chance to buy again. But we are coming into, the the end of the first quarter, not quite, but it's the end of February. February is basically over. And what else did the Fed say? Issue negative guidance, lay off employees. Okay, oil prices are down like we're in a recession. They said this: Fed sees elevated risk of a recession. So we've been kind of talking about this, that recession coming in towards the last part of the year. So again, I'm kind of giving my cards away here on my, kind of macro thesis here is that we do at some point come back and test this 30 to 31,000 region. As long as we're below there, more importantly, below this call it 48,000. I'm still expecting that kind of longer term target to get hit down here at about $10,000. And that would be in line with a recession. And there's two things to watch out this year. And right now there's a lot of dollar liquidity coming into the market. China's doing some stimulus. So I do think Bitcoin has a great chance to kind of put in a higher low somewhere in this region, 18,500 to 19,000, then pick itself back up. But if we have a recession coupled with a bond market crisis, liquidity in the bond market, why would we have a problem like that? Well, interest rates are skyrocketing. And if, this economy can change on a dime right now, absolutely on a dime. I mean, literally in 2 seconds, the whole thing can change. And that's why it's very important to follow along every single day what's going on in the news, because the Fed turns around and says, oh, inflation is coming in hotter than expected and auto sales are up, or whatever the narrative is. It changes on a dime. And like we've seen, they're revising they're revising all the economic numbers, right? A month or two later. And, that personally isn't fair to me. And then they're changing the rules in a sense, right? They're changing, we're not going to calculate, when we calculate overall core inflation, right? We're going to use this and this number. We did it wrong last time, sorry, and we want the number to be this. So one other thing I want to bring up, I am actually going to be interviewed on AM 70 radio here on Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, where you can catch a full interview about why Bitcoin, why we think it's just so important for the public to gain awareness and diversification into this asset class, because it's life-saving technology. And right now we're living in a totalitarian kind of we're tiptoeing in to a totalitarian I don't know if I'm saying that word right, communist society, right? We're tiptoeing into communism, and Bitcoin is like freedom. The founding fathers eloquently said how, our country's not about dominion, it's about freedom. And when, most Americans have been exposed to war their entire life, right? Most Americans, their kids or their parents served in Vietnam, Iraq, or Afghanistan, and then they come home and they wonder, what was I fighting for? Right? I don't feel any safer. I don't feel any freer. I don't feel any, like the economy's any better, that's for sure. The wealth gap just keeps getting more and more divided, and our rights are systematically being taken away from us. The rights, one nation under God, with the right, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, it used to be life, liberty, and property, and they amended it to include happiness, which meant they could, own property, businesses, lands. You can marry whoever you want, any kind of religion. That whole thing, was our country was founded upon, and now these rights are being stripped away from us, where most Americans are asleep and don't even know what's going on. So Bitcoin is kind of the last life jacket, or life vest, or lifeboat. It's kind of like Noah's Ark, right? And the flood of tyranny and just, corrupt government is continuing to, make headway, unfortunately. And with a corrupt money system, you have no political rights, right? When the money is corrupt, as Robert Breedlove says, then the whole society is corrupt. So Bitcoin offers freedom to own your own property, your own money. You get to own your own money, finally. You don't have to be owned by a bank. And that's in the form of your private keys. Needless to say, I'm going on a little ramble here. But I will throw up just a few targets here on sand. One that, as it looks like Bitcoin is turning around here and probably going to test the downside targets before it tests the upside targets. I'm just going to pull up the economic data actually this morning. I didn't see anything crazy come out today. Yeah, it was jobless claims. So continuing jobless claims, all these numbers came out bullish, so higher than expectations. So the more people, lower than expected. So initial jobless claims for February was 192. The expectation was 200. So they want more people to lose their jobs. So why inflation goes down? So bad economic numbers today. And as you can see, the dollar's popping up. Stocks coming down. Dow, and by the way, this looks like a real big bull trap to me. If this thing does not hold on to this level right here, you can pretty much forget about it. And I'd be looking down to the purple 200 again, and you better hope that holds. And that's the definition of a bull trap. Where do the bull traps come in? Right at the 618 fibs. So let's just see how we did there. So we made it above the 618, to be fair. I mean, we got up to the 786, and you know, the last line in the sand, breaking back down below this level, the 382, would tell me this thing's going to come down hard and fast. S&P 500, are we holding the daily trend line? We are just barely holding it here. So S&P needs to bounce from here if we're going to get any kind of traction. If this thing breaks, big descending triangle, and I can already see the measure move on this would be something like this. Yeah, that would bring us down to the lows. So better hope and pray for some good economic data coming out next week. Let's see, what do we have coming out next week on the economic calendars? Durable goods, that doesn't sound interesting. Anything for America? No, pretty much a dead week. So that might be the chance for Bitcoin to rally. Good trades balance. That comes out on Tuesday next week. So pending any war or attack on Russia attacking the Netherlands oil supply, that might give the opportunity for Bitcoin to bounce. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up with, so again, if Bitcoin's going to come down, well, probably some of these guys are going to come down. And by the way, we have a free Discord you can join. I posted a trade setup today that looked, let's see if I still have it up here on the 4-hour time frame. Yes, this was it, but I can't move this screen over here. Maybe I can. Hopefully this is still coming through here in the background. I imagine it is. But trade setup was right here off the green 55. These are where I personally like to take trades. Again, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but as we approach the green 55 on declining volatility, you're looking for that downside move. And all we need this to do is cross the downside below 157 on the 4-hour, and I'd be looking for 146 to get hit. So pretty much a perfect entry. Stop loss right above there at 174, and then take profit. So entry, exit, and take profit right there on Mr. Render. And what gave me the overall bias on this one was the 5-day, in fact, which will be closing in 1 day and 6 hours. The 5-day on Render, typically you get a formation like this, a bit of a shooting star, and then continuation of the downside. Very likely this one does come down to about 146 at some point. All right, that's it for, okay, Matic. Matic, another one, looks like it's putting in a bit of a 3-day divergence call. So hidden bearish divergence, what is that? Again, when price is making lower highs, oh, this is going to be a big one. I'm almost done. Price is making lower high. Is it 11? No, I got 10 minutes. Price is making lower highs. 1, 2, 3 lower highs, right? And RSI is making higher highs. 1, 2, 3. And this one, first target, I'll mark this off. And this will close today at 5 p.m. So, and it closes here, anywhere here or lower. But first target at 116, and the second target right here, I'd be looking at 102. Wow, that'd be a big move down, but 3-day bearish divergence. You're getting kicked out of the bullish control zone. Stokes are crossing down. Volatility is declining, and got an sell there. So that one does look good for some downside. And let's see what the daily says. Daily's down. Volatility, so mean reversion bounce. I would be looking for that 115, 116 target to get hit. And yeah, volatility is, oh, this one looks nice for, you know, again, some downside displeasures. And invalidation would be like this. Pretty much back above, call it one, yeah, back above this pivot right here. So I wouldn't wait that long. I'd probably, you know, 141, any kind of a 12-hour closure back above, you know, 145. Let's call it 145. And I'd say, nope, gonna get some continuation. All right, that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys have a blessed and highly favored day. And I will check in with you tomorrow with some more updates. Take care.